it is super critical that you make sure your phone number and your email is up to date with these servicers, because they're the ones that you should have direct communication with to understand what the next steps are. Hey, what is up everybody? Student loan forbearance is set to expire on September 30th, 2021. So in this video, I'm going to be explaining exactly what this means and how you should prepare for student loan forbearance ending. Coming up. Hey everybody, what's going on? So my name is Alvy Macias. Okay, let's just jump right into the topic of today's video. And the first thing we have to talk about is what student loan forbearance is and sort of the update that we're at this point in time. So because of the pandemic, because of everything that was going on in the world in March of 2020, the federal government decided to put a pause on student loan interest accruing on any sort of student loans, but there's an asterisk here, only the student loans that were backed by the federal government. So think of the Perkins loans, think of the loan servicers, so perhaps think more of the Great Lakes, the Navients of the world. The student loans that had this pause on the interest rates were only the ones that were backed by the federal government. That's a really key thing to remember, because private student loans from SoFi, Wells Fargo, Bank of America were not necessarily part of this program. However, many of those banks did choose to opt in. So with this pause on student loan interest, there was also a pause on student loan payments, meaning that because of everything going on, again, because of the pandemic and everything going on in the world, student loan servicers backed by the federal government were not allowed to still charge you and me a payment for our student loans. So no interest was accruing on our student loans, and we did not have to pay a monthly payment for our student loans because of this forbearance. So that brings me to my second point, which is the student loan forbearance has been extended multiple times through the pandemic, but the student loan forbearance of 0% interest and no payments due is set to expire on September 30th of 2021. It's really important to note that in just about 3 months from today, of course, today being June 22nd of 2021, student loan payments are both going to be due again, and you're going to start getting charged interest just like a normal everyday type of student would who didn't have to go through the pandemic. So, kind of think back to pre-pandemic, if you were making a payment on your student loans, or if you were already used to making a payment on your student loans. Again, so beginning October 1st, 2021, we'll go back into the payments and the interest accruing unless President Joe Biden extends that forbearance through perhaps one more extension via executive order. As of right now, there is no talk of this, so we're gonna just basically prepare for the worst and hope for the best when it comes to student loan forbearance. Hey, if you're getting value out of this video, do me a favor, hit that like button down below. It's free and it will help get this video in front of other students who would find this information valuable as well. Thank you so much. So that brings me to my third point, which is, will the student loan forbearance be extended? At this moment in time, and the recording of this video is late June of 2021, I would say there's about a 50-50 chance that student loan forbearance gets extended one more time via executive order. President Joe Biden has been sort of on the fence about this. He has not specifically come out and said that yes, he would extend the forbearance, but he also has not been very vocal about giving everyone $10,000 of student loan forgiveness. So if I was a betting man, I would probably venture to guess that if anything happens before September 30th, 2021, that we would maybe, again, 50-50 split on this, see student loan forbearance extended until maybe the beginning of 2022. I would say maybe we'll see student loan forbearance extended to January 1st, 2022, just to kind of give everyone a clean slate. And President Joe Biden can point to that and say,
look what I did. I extended your student loan forbearance. Yay me.
But again, that's sort of up in the air. I don't personally know if we will see this, but I would say I'm cautiously optimistic that we would see one more student loan forbearance extension, but Nothing's been talked about and there hasn't been any motion on this, so proceed with caution. Okay, so fourth point that I wanted to make about student loan forbearance ending on September 30th, 2021. What should you do as a student loan borrower in preparation for the student loan forbearance ending? The one key and super important thing that I think everyone should do is update your information with your servicer. If you go on the federalstudentaid.gov, which is the only website I recommend you get this information from, you will notice that on multiple different points, the federalstudentaid.gov says to update your information with your servicer. Why is this important? It's important for two key reasons. One, if your information is not up to date, the servicer has no way to tell you what the next steps are, meaning, are they going to just restart your auto withdrawal? Do you have to send in documentation for a new income-driven repayment plan? Or are they just going to give you sort of a little bit of leeway into how you're going to start repayment again? It is super, super, super critical that you make sure your phone number and your email is up to date with the servicers, because they're the ones that you should have direct communication with to understand what the next steps are. If you are sort of not sure about how this is going to start up again, meaning your payments, then, or if you've had a major life change, maybe you lost your job, maybe you got a pay raise and your income has gone up dramatically because of the pandemic. If there's something like that that happened in your life, I would highly suggest that you take the initiative and contact your servicer directly. You can send them an email, you can get them on the phone. There's tons of different ways to get in contact with servicers nowadays, and plus they're not very busy because they're not collecting any payments. But contact them directly and ask them what you should expect for payments to start up again. If you were on auto payment for your student loans, are they just going to take that information and reinstate the payment withdrawal? Sort of get that information ahead of time, because come September, they're going to be inundated. Like, so many people are going to want to try to get in contact with them. So if you can do this step now, you're going to be miles ahead of everyone else. This is sort of just preparing you for worst case scenario that we do not see another extension of student loan forbearance. Hey, are you getting value from this video? If so, remember to hit that subscribe button down below. It's the red one. Make sure it turns gray. Thank you. The fifth point I want to bring up with student loan forbearance ending on September 30th, 2021 is a question that I get asked a lot. Alvy, do I have to make a lump sum payment for all the interest that I have not paid because of the forbearance? The quick and easy answer is no. Any interest that you would have been charged for your student loans through the pandemic and through the forbearance period, it's as almost if that never happened. So think of it as just a pause with no interest being charged, and the servicers should not have to charge you the backlog of interest that they have not collected. And the reason for this is because these servicers were directed by the federal government to not charge interest, so they cannot go back and then try to charge you for all the interest that they're out, essentially. So no, if anyone ever tells you you have to make a lump sum payment for all the interest that you would owe, quote unquote, that's total BS. Don't listen to them, because these servicers cannot do that to you because of the directive from the federal government. So my question of the day for you, and please let me know down in the comment section below, is do you think we will see another forbearance extension? And if so, when do you think it would be extended to? Again, let me know down in the comments. I love reading the comments, and I think people are very, very optimistic that we will see another extension through 2022. And the last question that I also get asked quite a bit is, Alvy, should I make payments to my student loans before September 30th? This is one that I'm going to answer in two parts. Personally, I think you should definitely make payments before the forbearance period ends, because this way you take advantage of the 0% interest, and when the interest starts up again, the interest that will accrue is on a much smaller amount. Now, the other side of this is that if you wanted to wait And if you've just been saving up tons and tons in your bank account in preparation for the forbearance ending, then you could, in theory, wait until October 1st, 2021, and then make a lump sum payment if you have the reserves. But just know that you could be paying a little bit extra in interest, but I can understand the argument if you wanted to wait to see if maybe the forgiveness happens or if the forbearance gets extended. That's a totally plausible idea and one that I think is still valid. So either way, I think you're good. And of course, if you don't have the reserves and you're not able to make the payments because you lost your job or whatever, or something happened in your life, then just know on October 1st, 2021, unless something changes, you're gonna go kind of back to normal, meaning that and you're gonna have to start making your payments on your student loans once again. But again, it's totally up to you. If you wanted to make a payment before September 30th, I would recommend it just so the interest gets charged on a smaller amount. All right, everybody, thank you so much for watching today's video. Now, if you want to watch a video about why I personally believe that we will not see student loan forgiveness of $10,000 or $50,000, then click the video I have right up here. It'll also be in the cards right up there, and I will see you next week with another video. Bye.